Good morning all, it's traffic jam time again. I'm in Lincoln delivering fridges. Picked up at 5, got up at 4, picked up at 5, and now I'm driving around the nice flat, easy to drive around, easy to park, no traffic areas of Lincoln, which unfortunately due to a road being closed, I'm stuck in stationary traffic and I've been stuck here for 20 minutes. So I thought I'd talk to you guys. Now I had a guy ring me the other day, bless him. He had a bit of a nightmare. He got out to get his van in the morning. He booked the job the night before, very sensible, and he got out to get in his van. He'd gone out of his house, he'd gone round the corner, and the van went there. So bless him, you know, I did say I'd put the number plate out. He kind of went, that was 2 weeks ago, it's gone, it's finished. But he said, I watched the videos and I thought, he said it would be wise to do one on van security. So I thought, well, that makes perfect sense, I should do one on van security. So this is, well, for my days of being a market trader, we never had our van sign written, because if you got your van sign written, it's not like a generic white van. Suddenly they know they can go, they can see you at market, they can see you full of gear, and then they can follow you home and they can nick your van off your driveway. Nowadays, I think as courier drivers, we tend to have empty vans all the time, so that isn't so much of an issue. But obviously in the CX, they prefer to have a plain van anyway, because you're always going in as a customer for someone else, as a user for someone else. So plain vans are sensible. But things that you can do, I mean, basically you want to park it in a secure place as possible. Now mine is not parked at home. Mine is parked at the top of the road in a compound behind a lock gate, behind another electric gate, which is surrounded on CCTV. This wasn't really on purpose, this just kind of happened. We used to have a unit up there when I was on the markets, which you used to store gear, and I don't want to park my van on the driveway because A, it won't fit, because weirdly it won't go around the corner, and B, it gives the neighbours a yump. But even then, I still got it broken into a few months ago. They didn't nick the van. They couldn't nick the van. It was, you couldn't get it out. But they went in the cab, and weirdly they nicked all sorts of weird stuff. They nicked my spare mobile phone, but they left my passport. And they nicked the sack barra, but they didn't nick the pallet truck. And they nicked half a packet of mints. And on the whole, I couldn't work out whether to be sad or happy. On, like, I'd lost half the gear, but the driving licence was still there, which is fine. But that was my own daft fault, I think, because it was in the compound and because it was new, and I hadn't worked out the clicky button thingies, and I'd forgotten to lock it. But say you ain't got a compound. I mean, if you ain't got a compound, the storage units can be very good. If there's one of those near you, you can sometimes use them for parking if they've got a secure bit. Failing that, your best place is on your driveway, underneath your windows, so you can hear it. And then you can start putting in all kinds of stuff. Now, you can put the cameras up, but they're largely hopeless because they just show a silhouette of a geezer in a hoodie jumping in your van, so that's no bloody good. But what you can do, you can get metal posts. They can go on the front of the driveway, put one of those in, put a padlock in. Alternatively, park the car in front of the van, and then you've got to move the car in the morning, and B, I've known them drag cars off to get to the motor behind. And then there's the stuff you can do in van security. Now, in the old days when we used to have fitting stereos, we'd get alarms fitted, and they were absolutely useless because, you know, I don't know about you, but I always like to know when someone's walking past my car. The things would just go off as you walk past them, and in my experience, people don't go to alarms anymore anyway. The alarm starts going off in the middle of the night. You don't come running out your bed and going, oh, I'm going to wrestle the assailant that's nicking my neighbour's van. You go, that alarm's going off. You better turn it off soon. You keep me awake. So they're hopeless. The factory fitted ones are kind of cool. The secondary ones I wouldn't necessarily recommend. And then there's all the other gear you can buy. There's steering locks. There's the big yellow steering lock you can put on your steering wheel. I've known my mates have put motorcycle chains around the clutch and tied it up to the gear stick, so you can't actually physically put the clutch down and move the motor. And you can get gear locks and all kinds of stuff. I mean, the end of the day, also, you can chain the back. I mean, you can put something in like the wall of the house, chain the back wheels up. You can put wheel clamps on. There's all sorts you can do. The long and the short of it is, everything that you do is going to take you longer to move the van in the morning. So whatever you want to do, make it secure, make it solid, but make it quick to get off. And secondly, and also, you know, extra locks on the doors. Sometimes you can get like extra locks, like, you know, key locks, but then you haven't got the funny clicky lock. But then the funny clicky lock can now be beaten by a computer. The long and the short of it is this: place it somewhere where they can be seen, because that way they're less likely to nick it. And secondly, make it more difficult to nick your van. They'll go for the weakest link. It's like the cheetah running after the antelopes. Most of the time, they'll go for the weakest link. If you put a load of devices on your van, that will make your van more difficult to nick than most. At the end of the day, if they want to get it, they're going to get it. But what are they really after? You know? So I would say the newer the van, possibly the more at risk it is, because A, it's more dough to them, and B, it strikes me with these new electronic keys, they can get a computer thing, or they can stand behind you and click the rolling code. But I'm sure that some guys out there, as always, the more experienced than me, please let me know if you've got any other advice on what you can do to secure the van. But like I say, the post in the ground or the car in front of it and on your driveway and all the stuff that you can get on, like the steering lock and the handbrake lock and the gear stick lock, they're probably your best bet. But anyway, I hope that helps. I hope you're all well. Give us your advice, please. I'll pass it on in the forum. In the meantime, I'm off to deliver some more fridges when this lot actually finally gets moving. And take care, take money. Bye.